Good afternoon, good evening, beautiful people. I just want to run down really quick. It has been a month since I have became a private landlord. It has been great. There was some bumps and some things that happened literally the first 2 days of my tenant moving in. I had some HVAC issues and I was not expecting these things. So, just to dive right into it, I am a real estate agent, real estate investor, and developer. And I'm transitioning to, from residential real estate and going into more of an investing in development type of real estate path. I enjoy being a landlord. I mean, it's only been a month, right? It's only been a month. But I've been enjoying this journey because I'm learning things as I'm going. And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have things that happen that you do not expect to happen. And they are going to happen because you're an investor and things happen in real estate. All types of things that happens in real estate. And so I just wanted to run down and just tell you all my experience so far as a first time landlord with my first investment property. So one, you have to know your big five, and that is your plumbing, your electrical, HVAC, roofing, and foundation. Those are the biggest, expensive, most frustrating things that you do not want to have, but you eventually probably will have these issues, or things that you will need to at least inspect and repair over time, right, as you have property. But those are your big fives. And so you definitely want to make sure when you're looking for properties, you want to look at those things when you're looking at different properties, because you need to know how much damage or repair is going to be needed and if it's worth the price. And that's how you're going to do your whole negotiation. All right, enough about real estate. Being an investor, okay, has been, let me just tell you, I've been stressed, okay? And I love it though. I love it because that comes with the territory. It comes with, understanding what it means to take care of a property. And even though I've had experience with that already, taking care of a property with someone in it is completely different, right? And so you have to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. You have to make sure that you're answering things. And even though I do that anyway as a real estate agent with my clients, this is now my business, right? This is not me being under any type of other organization. This is me and my own company doing these things and actually managing our own property right now. My tenant moved in, and within 2 days I had an air condition problem. It's hot, okay? And this is when the temperatures reached into like the triple digits and all that stuff. It was hot. This was June, okay? And even though it's still hot here, like June was really hot. Really, really hot. And so I had that problem. And of course, being a landlord and just now having someone move into the property, you don't expect it to happen immediately, right? Things happen. I did all the things I could do to prepare, right? The house. I did my inspections. I went through the home. I did everything that I could possibly do. And then my tenant moved in, and then boom, it's not getting cold in the house. Fast forward, right? I did my due diligence, making sure doing my inspections with other people, having specialists comes out to take a look at everything, and I have a leak. I saw and imagined high price tag, right? That's the first thing that you think, because I'm like, HVAC, that's one of the high price tags. Luckily, and I'm blessed and grateful that it was just a small issue, just a small leak that actually was repaired easily. And then the storm came and knocked the power out in the neighborhood. And then my thermostat went out. Yeah, so did what I need. And it always happens on a weekend, right? It always happens when you just cannot get anybody to immediately come out. But someone did come out, and he did what he needed to do. He fixed it the second time. Another person came out and fixed it the second time and replaced my thermostat. And so far things have been great. In the midst of all of that, I've been coming to the house and making sure that I'm changing the cameras, and we resetted everything so she can have access to the cameras and everything. And that was fun. That was actually fun, because I was like on my ladder and I was doing things like I felt cool. But it's when I tell you, if you are looking to get into investing, having multiple properties and building your portfolio, I would say do it. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to get stressful. It's time consuming. There are risks, right? With real estate, there's always a risk, right? There's always a risk that you either come out on top or you don't with a property. The property either makes money or it doesn't. That's real estate, and with the economy and everything like that, who knows? Things go into cycles. Real estate is a cycle. But I would say it has been one of my best decisions. I was really looking to sell the property, but I have to say, it's working out in my favor. And I enjoy it. And plus my core, like my actual core and what I want to do and become, is a successful real estate investor and developer. And so this is my first property, and it's, like I said, it's doing what it needs to do. And I have an amazing tenant, which is a blessing for my first investment property. And we're both are learning at the same time. So it just works out. The communication is there, the respect, and then how I'm responding and just making sure that I'm taking care of my tenant. Everything is just working the way it's supposed to work. And I am ready for my second property. I'm ready to start looking for another property, and I'm excited for when that journey happens. Because of my lifestyle, I am definitely looking to go into property management and actually transition into, not being my own property manager, just because I enjoy traveling, I enjoy doing other things. And as I'm starting to look for different properties, I want to make sure that my tenant and my property is taken care of the right way. And so by delegating that task to a property management company, I know I don't have to always be around my phone 24/7, and sometimes, when you're on call 24/7, you running your own property management, like it can get overwhelming, when you have calls, when you have texts, like during this time with the air conditioning, like, it was calls and text messages around the clock because I need to make sure that she was okay, and she was making sure that things were okay on my end. We was getting things done in the communication. But, when you have a property management company, you can actually delegate that task to somebody else, and then a property management company contacts me. So it just makes it a little more smooth and a little more easier, especially less overwhelming when it comes to you have to answer calls and texts around the clock, like all night and stuff like that. Just because I just like to hold myself to a really high standard. I don't care if it's 12 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. If my tenant texts me about something that's an emergency, that's just my duty to do that. Like, I'm obligated. I have basically a fiduciary duty to my client, to my tenant. That's my property. They're in it. I need to take care of things that, is something that's dealing with the house that, may make it uncomfortable for them to live, especially when it's hot here. You need to make sure the air conditioning is on. So, but I am thinking about doing property management company, and that way I can just give myself some time and free up to look at different properties and to continue to work on my business as a real estate agent. And so, it's been great. It's been great. And I am open to questions and, anything, but I'm still learning with this thing. And luckily I do have, a couple of people that I talk to that are also investors that I'm kind of learning things from too. And I'm reading a lot of things. I'm doing my research. I'm listening to podcasts. And I'm familiarizing myself with basically being an investor and different types of methods and certain things, there's all that what comes into real estate investing. But it's been my first month. I have 11 more to go. And even more because I plan on having multiple doors in my portfolio, and even expanding out of state in different states, let's just say that. And I see this going very far, and I see myself being very successful. But if you are definitely looking into real estate and being an investor, I say go for it. You're gonna be scared, and that's with anything. I feel like being scared shows that you're human. It shows that you're excited too, because it could be fear, but it also anxiety and just anxiousness of wanting to get started and seeing where it can go, because you know yourself and you know what your goal is, your end goal is. And so for me, I get very excited and I get very anxious because I always see myself, just having a portfolio and saying, oh, I'm going to this property today. I have a portfolio of these many units or whatever, like that's my life. And I do believe I found a sector in my life where I can help all, and I can give back to the community and still do stuff in real estate and build different things for the community. And that's I think that I'm kind of circling back to my first love, which is just community outreach. And even though I'm in real estate, I can still do community outreach with building different centers and everything like that, or funding different centers and helping people and helping the communities with just changing lives and making it a better place for people. The quality of life is just, we need to enhance that. And it starts with the schools, and it starts with housing. Like, you cannot have a great quality of life without being in a place or living in a place or sleeping in a place that you feel unsafe, or that you feel is just not, a safe place to live. And so improving our housing and improving communities and rebuilding or upgrading homes in the communities, we need that. And so, yeah, I am ready to take on this journey and continue going my life and changing lives and educating and sharing my experience. And so this is definitely a series of just the landlord life and my first investment property. And of course, as I go through things and as I start to do and close on new properties, I'll definitely share that information and share my experience and how I'm doing that. But I feel like I have a voice for these types of things, and voice for sharing my life and sharing education, because a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people kind of learn now with this whole social media. A lot of people learn with actually having videos in front of them versus kind of like reading sometimes. Reading is still fundamental, y'all. Still read, but I found out a lot of people pick up on things quicker if they see a video of it. And then they go back and research different topics that they heard in those videos. And so I'm deciding now to just take my whole personality to social media, or to videos and vlogging and all of these things, and sharing my message and sharing my experience with you all. So stay tuned. Side note, I am working on being more consistent with my posting. Again, I do a lot and I have multiple accounts, and that is why I'm also looking to get an assistant, because I need an assistant to delegate certain tasks to, whether that's like just returning phone calls or like writing down my messages, or even possibly like taking control of my social media. Like, I need it's a lot, but I am working a plan, and my goal is by 2025 to basically have a whole layout of how my life is going to be delegated when it comes to like my business, how things are going to be delegated to an assistant, so I can keep my mental strong and not get overwhelmed with multiple tasks. So even though I can do them, if I plan on traveling how I want to travel, I'm not going to have time to do that. And it's only smart. And I know big CEOs and big people of companies, they're not doing everything. They delegate these tasks to employees and to contractors. They delegate these to different people that are specialized in those areas so they can continue living their life and managing and watching over their business. And so that is what I am going to do. So stay tuned for that too, because it could be, some little hiring. I might have a little hiring link or something where I can do some interviews.